Hello, welcome Faster Forward team. Just having a quick look at the weather for our race starting on Friday. So if we look here, we're broadly in a southerly, and so if we play the model a little bit, you can see we get to the first corner here, currently around the 14 knots. Gets a little bit of 18 knots in this patch here, so that could be tricky. See what we might have to do, but we might make it with a 2 and full main. And then as we come across here, we slightly sprung sheets, probably a bit narrow for the code 0, so it's probably 2 still. And then we get to the corner here, and once we bear away here, be code 0 territory, looking in the 12 knot range, so perfect for that. And then as we go across here, and when we get into this area here, the wind starts to lighten off, and as we get to the finish line, it is coming up, and we're finishing. That's at 12 o'clock on the Saturday. So if we go and have a look at the summary of things here, and go and look at the tables here. So the model I'm watching now has got us at 22 hours, so finishing at 12:30 on Saturday. So we might have to have a little bit more food because we're finishing later, but we'll have a think about that as we get closer to the race. So if we can look at that, it's around the 150 miles that its model's suggesting, and it's suggesting 20 or 25% upwind, mostly reaching. Some of the models have a bit of downwind in it. For those planning clothing, if you look at all the models here, they're all talking around the 20 degrees for the start and not getting under 16 or 17 degrees overnight. Look at the European model, it's much the same, so 70 degrees, not going to be very cold, so it should be a good race. If we're going to have a look at Met-I, so Met-I for the time, we look at Friday, it's broadly in agreement here. We're at Adelaide down here, and it's starting off with lighter winds here of 10 to 15 knots. If we look as the afternoon goes on, you can see the strengthening of the sea breeze here. So hard on the wind to get to here. As we get a bit later on, you can see the wind started to die down the sea breeze and starting to get a bit flaky as we go through, and starting to drop off as we go across the area here. So this is again showing in the 10 or 12 knots should be okay. If we get to Saturday, we should be around the top here, coming around here, and so there's a bit of a hole showing in there. And if we look in the morning, it goes lighting again, but again just reaching. So it'd be a combination in this light weather whether the code 0 is enough or back to the spinnaker. And as we can see, it tends to show a little bit more aft, which could make it a bit more tricky downwind. So we'll have a look at the strategies around there. And then as we go further, the wind goes aft, and then it goes back south, and it doesn't get very windy around Port Lincoln all day, so it's going to be a bit of a slow finish. But anyway, there we are. So that's an initial look. I'll do another one later on in the week, but anyway, enjoy.